Hello, viewers. Welcome to our interesting session on robotics. Today, we are going to design a robotic hand. A robotic hand is a type of mechanical hand with similar functions of human arm. A robotic hand can be designed to perform any desired task such as welding, gripping, spinning, etc. depending on the applications. The parts required to make the robotic hand. We required one big C, two sliders, two small c, one small l, one DC motor, one small plate, five small bars, four arc clip, and one rack gear. So the designing is divided into various parts such as hand supporter, gear assembly, the gripper designing, and finally the testing. So let us start the first part, that is the hand supporter. So the hand supporter required these parts: one big C, two slider, one small c, and one small l. So our first task, we'll take a big C and we'll connect the sliders with the sliding area at the bottom over here like this. The one slider will be connected like this and another will be on the other side. So let us take a set of two nut and bolts. And fix it over here like this. Similarly, we'll take another nut and bolt at the lower end . And we are going to tighten the assembly with the help of your hand and the screwdriver. We can hold the nut with the help of the spanner as well, like this, and use the screwdriver to tighten the assembly. As you can see, the connections are strong enough. Now we'll follow the same step like this, the sliding area at the bottom, and we'll have a set of nut and bolt and fix it over here. Now we are going to fasten the tightening assembly like this. Now we take the C and place it inside the slider like this, and we'll close it with the help of nut and bolt. And we will use two tightening assembly at each corner of the C at one end of the slider and use nut to tighten them up. Similarly, we'll doing it on another end. As you can see, now we are going to tighten these bolts with the help of the hand. Hold the nut with the help of your hand and the screwdriver to tighten the assembly. Now we required one small L and we'll fix it over here like vertically. So here is the small L. We are going to fix it over here and we'll use one set of nut and bolt at each end of the slider. Fine. And we are going to close the L on the edge. So let's start it. So one assembly is connecting over here and I'm going to close it with the help of a nut. Similarly, we'll take one more nut and bolt. And we'll close the other side of it with the help of a nut. So we have fixed the L on the supporter like this. So as you can see, the first part of the robotic hand is almost completed. Now second is the gear assembly. So for the gear assembly, we required a rack gear, as you can see, and we are going to fix it over here on the C to the side where there are no nut and bolts. So we'll take a rack gear, place it over here, and we'll use just the bolts to tighten it from the inner side. So here we go. We'll just take the bolt and then we use the screwdriver to tighten them. So let us take two at each end. So we'll use one more at the end if required. Otherwise, you can leave the last bolt as well. So as you can see, our rack gear is being fixed on the top of the C. Now we are going to use a small plate and fix it towards the rack gear. We use two nut and bolts at each end of the small plate and it will be passing through the slider. So we'll use one tightening assembly at one end and another tightening assembly at another end. Remember, there is no need to tighten this assembly too much. Perfect. And we will be requiring one small bar at this end, and we will be fixing it. This is the small bar that we have. We will be fixing the third hole of the bar and through the slider. So the small plate and the sliders should be loose enough to move on the small plate, and the small bar should be loose enough to rotate on the slider, linearly move on the slider, as you can see. Now we required one motor, one DC motor with a shaft attached on it. We will be taking the motor bolts out and inserting the shaft in the second row of the small bar, like this, as you can see, and we will be fixing the motor bolt back into the motor. Now, as you can see, the motor is being perfectly secured on the small plate. Now we'll add one spacer in the shaft and one 12-teeth gear. 12-teeth gear. And we'll pass it through the shaft, and then we are supposed to close it with the help of axial lock. Now, the motor will rotate, as a result of which the gear, 12-teeth gear on the shaft will rotate, and this will be converting the circular motion to the linear movement. So we are taking an axial lock, pass it through the shaft, and we are going to close it. Like this. Now we required one medium C, and we will be placing it on the top of we will be placing it in the first row of the small bar with the help of nut and bolts. Like this, and just close it with the help of a nut. Later on, we can use the help of the screwdriver to close the tightening assembly and make it strong enough. Now we required one more at other end, like this. Just take one nut, close the bolt, now as you can see, it has been connected from the plate side. We have to connect the bar on it as well. So we'll be using the fourth hole on the bar and the first on the C, and we'll be using one tightening assembly to close this joint. Now we'll use screwdriver to make it tight and strong enough. So we have done the hand supporter, that was the first part, as well as the gear assembly of it. Now it's the turn to make the gripper. So gripper is something which is used to hold the object and drop it wherever required. So for this, we required 2 small bars, and we will be placing it on the L, which was connected on the outside of the supporter. So we will be using the second hole on the slider, second hole on the small bar, as well as the second middle hole on the small C. And with the help of the tightening assembly, we are going to close it. Similarly, we'll follow the same step on the right hand side of it. Second hole on the small bar and the second middle hole on the C. We'll insert the bolt and close it with the help of a nut. Now we required 2 more small bars. We'll place them like this. Okay, just the second hole of both the sliders, both the small bars together, and we will be second hole of both the small bars, and we will be placing on the middle first hole of the C, and we will be tightening it with the help of a nut and bolt. After placing the nut, we are going to tighten it with the help of the screwdriver. Now we require 2 arc clips, and we will be placing it on the first hole of the upper small bars with the help of nut and bolt. So the arc will be used to hold the object. The another arc is going on the right hand side. We'll take a set of nut and bolt. We'll follow the same step at the lower end as well. Two arc at each end. And then we will be using the screwdriver to tighten all the 4 joints. Now it's the turn of the screwdriver to tighten all the 4 joints. Now we will be using 2 big bolts that will be actually connecting the upper gripper and the lower gripper to make it look like it as a hand. So we take a bigger bolt, pass it through, and add some spacers in between. So we are going to use 6 spacers and close it with the help of a nut. Remember to tighten this assembly. Similarly, we'll follow the same step. A big bolt, 6 spacers, then we are going to pass it through the upper arc. Passing it through the upper arc, and then we are going to close it with the help of a nut. Remember to make it tight. You can use the help of the spanner and the screwdriver. So as you can see, we have completed the gripper as well. So the designing is almost ready. We required to place a power distribution system and to do the testing. So here is the power distribution system that we are going to use. We are going to place it on the supporter with the help of a nut and bolt. As you can see, we have placed the power distribution board. We required a remote control that will be controlling the electrical power which will be coming from the DC jack to the mechanical power through the power distribution board. So we required to connect DC cable, the data cable, in one end of the remote control, and another end of the data cable will be connected in the power distribution board over here like this. We will be connecting the motor to the power distributor. Fine. Now to give an electricity supply, we will be using a 12-volt DC adapter, and we will be connecting its DC jack to the power jack in the remote control. Once you will control it, you can see all the lights starts working. Start. So here we are going to do the testing. So we are going to pick the box which is present on the left hand side, and we are going to pick the box which is present on the left hand side and place it on the right hand side. So here I'm holding it with the gripper, placing it on the right, placing the object on the ground, and then opening the gripper. I hope you like our video. Thank you so much for watching us.